Hi, folks. Welcome to the Mindset Artistry Podcast. I'm your host, David DiPaolo. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the mindset movement. Today, we're going to talk about building an unstoppable mindset, one vial task after another. Why I wanted to do this podcast about that today is because I did not want to do this podcast today. Reason being is I have pneumonia, I have bronchitis. You can probably hear it in my voice a little bit. I have glasses on today because for some reason, apparently I can't see as good. So I feel like crap. To say the least, I am not 100%. And I didn't want to do this podcast. And there's a lot of things that I didn't want to do today. So, I found out on Saturday that I had pneumonia. My wife basically forced me to go to urgent care because I was having uncontrollable coughing fits. And so sometimes you do have to actually listen to your wife, fellas, okay? I'm really glad that I did because I found out that I have pneumonia. They did the whole x-rays and there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. It does not look good. And it's funny, I had to break plans with a really good friend of mine tomorrow morning. We usually meet up and get pads together. And I text him today, let him know that I'm sick. I'm not going to show up tomorrow. And one of the things that I let him know is that, my wife forced me to go. Thank God. So at least I know that I have this. And his response was, one of the many things that we need women for is to make sure that we don't kill ourselves. So that's one of my great friends, Kenny. We'll get back at it next week, brother. And I responded, no truer words have ever been spoken because it's very true. So thank you to my wife for forcing me to go, or else I wouldn't know that I was this sick and I wouldn't be on the antibiotics that I am. Anyway, so like I said, reason I am doing this podcast about this is because I didn't want to do this podcast today. Okay, feel like crap. And there's a lot of stuff I didn't want to do today. Okay. I didn't want to wake up at 4 a.m., which I do every day. I didn't want to go out and do my weighted vest walk in the morning for 2 miles, which I do every morning. I didn't want to get my workout in afterwards and lift weights that I do every morning or some other type of workout. I don't want to take out the trash today. Today's trash day, right? Like I didn't want to work all day and do all the other things that I need to do for my business today. And there's going to be plenty of other stuff the rest of the day that I'm not going to want to do also because I feel like crap. But guess what? That's why I'm doing it, right? Look, it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to feel 100% all the time. It's never going to be perfect conditions. The days are never always going to be great. Look, like shit's going to happen. Stuff's going to come up and you're going to have to deal with that and you're going to have to react to it. And that's what life is, okay? I don't want to do these things today because I don't feel good. And really like today was a battle. I'm not going to lie. Like I preach all the time that alarm goes off, you get up because that's the agreement that you made to yourself and you don't hit snooze and you get up and you do what you have to do. And I'll tell you what, today was probably the hardest one for some reason. And I really didn't want to get up. I started negotiating with myself. I told myself, hey, let's just go downstairs, let the dogs out real quick, feed them, and come back up and go back to bed. And you deserve that, right? Like you have pneumonia, you have bronchitis, you don't feel well. Like, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to do it. And I'm sitting there negotiating that stuff with myself. It sounded great. It sounded like a good deal. It really did. Like going back to bed at that time sounded like an amazing deal and I wanted to do it. And then I remembered like what I talk about all the time, what I say all the time is when you make an agreement with yourself, when you promise yourself that you're going to do something, you follow through with it. Like you have to do it to the best of your ability. Now I get it, like, there's extreme circumstances. But today I felt like I was just listening to my bitch voice a little too much. Yeah, I know I feel like crap. Yeah, I get it. But I felt like I was listening to that a little too much and I was starting to make excuses. I knew, yes, I'm not going to be 100% on what I want to do today, but I knew deep down inside that if I get up and do it anyway, even though I don't want to do it, that is what builds an unstoppable mindset. That is what makes you better. That is what gets you through, the monotony of just everyday life and you knowing that you're not always going to be at 100%. You're not always going to want to do stuff. But when you convince yourself and when you believe in yourself enough to know that you're always going to show up no matter what, when you can, that builds an unstoppable mindset because now even though I feel like crap today, I know that on the other days when I'm not feeling so great, or I'm still a little tired, or these other days where I don't want to do something, I know I can, right? I can look back at this, and I talked about this last week too. Like, I know I can do it, right? Like, I know that whatever it is, like, yeah, I'm going to get it done. I made that promise with myself. So when you could do that on a day when you feel like crap, and you feel like you just want to go back to sleep, well, imagine the other days. Imagine all the other days, how easy they will be when you got up and did this when you felt at your worst. Okay. And that's what started going back in my mind. Like, the bitch voice was listening, and then the other voice started chiming in, like, dude, you're better than this. Like, you can go do something. I know you're not going to be 100%, but let's go get it done. You're going to hate yourself all day if you don't do this. You're going to be behind. You're going to be behind in the work that you need to do, and then you're going to have to work, 10 times as hard or later or earlier to get caught up and this and that. And like, all this stuff's going on in my mind at the same time. It was like an internal struggle. And then that's it. I jumped up, got done, did what I had to do. Got my walk in, got my workout in, got in the sauna. I did skip the ice bath just because I don't feel like that's a good idea to do when you have pneumonia. Um, but yeah, like, and I worked all morning, and now I'm doing this podcast. I'm going to get this out today because that's what I told myself I'm going to do. And I understand I don't feel great. I understand I'm not 100%, but I made these promises to myself, and I'm going to follow through with them at the best of my ability. Okay. And when you can do that, when you could train your mind to, know that, 99% of it is just showing up and getting up and doing what you have to do and still getting your shit done, you become unstoppable. Because now on all those other days, like, what can stop you, right? When you already showed up on a day that you had every excuse not to, when you had every excuse to go back to bed, or take the day off or whatever else, and you still show up and you get your stuff done. You get as much done as you possibly can, and you know what, that will make you unstoppable, because you showed up when you didn't want to. You showed up anyway, and now your subconscious mind, your mindset, it's sharp, right? Because you made a promise to yourself, you tried to get out of it, but you overcame it because you're stronger than that. You're stronger willed. You have mental toughness. You have a great mindset that got you through that. And now at the end of the day, you're going to look back at this and be like, look what I accomplished today, even though I felt like crap, but I still showed up. I still got my responsibilities done. That makes you unstoppable. That gives you an unstoppable mindset. So you have to think about this, next time you're not feeling great, right? And look, I know there's extreme cases, right? Like, when I had my hernia surgery, I was laid up for a good week, right? Like, there's a lot I wasn't doing that during that week. But like, I felt today, even though with pneumonia and bronchitis, like, I could still get some stuff done. I could still do what I have to do. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be my best work. It's not going to be this big work of art and this great, amazing things. I get it, but I had to get what I can get done today, right? And when you know that can happen, you'll start believing in yourself more. You'll start trusting yourself more. You'll know that you can rely on yourself. You know that when you make a promise to yourself, you're going to get it done. Okay. And there's going to be days. There's going to be days where you're not feeling 100%. There's going to be days where you don't want to do it. There's going to be days where you don't want to show up. But when you can look back at a day like this, knowing that you showed up anyway, when you felt like crap and you still got it done and still did what you have to do, well, that makes it a whole lot easier to do it again. Makes it a whole lot easier to get through a lot more other things in your life when these challenges come up. That will build an unstoppable mindset. That will keep you pushing forward. That will make you better. And at the end of the day, you're getting done a task. You're getting done goals that you have set for yourself. You're getting done things that you need to get done. So that's putting you forward and not behind, right? And you're strengthening your mindset at the same exact time. So look, I'm going to keep this short and sweet today because I don't feel good, but I did want to do this podcast because it totally relates to my situation right now, and it totally relates to what I talk about all the time. And so just show up, get it done, keep your promises to yourself, even when you're not feeling 100%. And I promise you, when it's all said and done, it will make you better. It will give you an unstoppable mindset, and you will be able to accomplish and achieve anything that you set your mind to. That's it, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next week.